I'm your host, Tisha Emberton, and we're here at the Viola Valley Stars and Stripes Festival in the beautiful town of Viola. Right behind me is the car show. We're going to be looking at all kinds of cars. We're going to look at all the festivities going down here at the Viola Valley Stars and Stripes Festival. We're going to be talking with Mayor Trent Prater. Looking forward to all this excitement ahead. Stay tuned.
A lot of it goes back to, I guess, the good nature, the basics of life. You know, we're involved in church in a whole lot, and we grew up, the later part of our years, you know, we was taught to do the right thing, you know, and on the other side, the business aspect is we've always been taught to work. You know, if you want something in life, you need to work. And a family business is tough. You know, there's things I want to do this, we do. But in all, we're all come together. We're all, you know, we're real close. We're a close family.
You know, everybody has a ministry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's preachers. Not everybody wants to be, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But everybody can make a difference. Everybody, you know, can go to a community, or everybody can say a kind word or something.
I'll get off this day.
Welcome to another edition of Community Insight. Join us as we travel Middle Tennessee, uncovering history and experiencing the adventure of unique stories and events coming to you inside your community.
Thank you for tuning in to Community Insider, and with me is Jimmy Priestley. Tell me what we have here behind us.
These are hit and miss engines that were made back in the teens and the 20s. They were power plants on the farm way before electricity came around. And you would put a belt on them and run a grist mill, pump water. You could run a saw. They did all the work on the farm and cut out a lot of manual labor. They were quite popular back in the day. In the teens and 20s, there were 2,000 different companies that made the old engines. And they were quite popular, like CB radios were in the 70s, like computers are today, cell phones, you know, everybody had one. And everybody on the farm had an old engine. And all those engines were kind of put aside when electricity came around, mostly in the 40s and 50s. And ultimately, well, they sort of got destroyed, especially during the war effort for the cast iron. The engines are hit and miss. That means they hit a lick, then they'll coast a while. And that conserved gas. Of course, gasoline wasn't 17 cents a gallon back then, but they were still conscious of saving gas. But hit and miss engines were used for all kinds of stuff. And we have a real big one out at the Warren County Fair that maybe some of your viewers have seen. The engines these days are displayed at shows like this one. There may be a big tractor show, steam engine shows, and when the spectators get to come, they get to see what was used back in the day, back in their grandfather's days for the most part, and got a real sense of what they had to do on the farm to get things done. The engines are quite valuable. When you get one, you want to take it apart, sandblast it and paint it and make a cart to put it on so you can move it around or transport it on a trailer such as I do. I've been personally up to 325 engine and tractor and steam engine shows. And there'll be some more this summer that we'll be going to all over the country, just all over. And if you had one of these, you'll be proud of it if it was your granddaddy's. Therefore, they're pretty hard to get a hold of because people won't part with them, a lot of sentimental value. And I've been pleased to acquire about 17 of them over the years. They also, tool and die people also make little models that are about that big, that are replicas, scale models of these big engines, and they run just like the big ones, and it's kind of like a big toy, but they're quite popular as well. We're pleased to come to Viola every year. There's a show in Adams, Tennessee, Cookeville, Lebanon, but we also go to Evansville, Indiana, and Portland, Indiana, and I was up in Rantoul, Illinois last year, Hope, Arkansas, Savannah, Georgia. Oh my goodness, we are all over the country going to shows, and you can go somewhere every weekend if you wanted to and display these to kind of show people what it used to be like back in the 20s and the 30s.
I think it's absolutely amazing to see so much craftsmanship and so much work that goes into something like this.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of upkeep on them?
No, they'll run all day on a gallon of gasoline, and they don't use much gasoline at all. Here locally, I mentioned steam engines a while ago. The Burroughs-Ross-Colville plant, they ran on steam. There were other mills around that were maybe water mills, but a lot of steam mills as well. And back in the 20s and 30s, you had all kinds of water-driven, steam-driven, gasoline-driven equipment that got the job done on the farm. And we're just pleased to show them off. There's several of us that are here at Viola today. All the local fellows are. Some of the shows we go to, there'll be 60,000 to 80,000 people there over 3 or 4 days, and just a big crowd and a lot of interest for sure.
Well, we're so glad that you're here at the Viola Valley Festival. Thank you so much for talking with us here on Community Insider.
Well, thank you. Good to have you out here and taking a look at everything going on today.
All right.
Mayor Samuel Prater.
Samuel Prater.
Yeah, well, Trent is
Trent?
what, yeah.
All right. You're the kind of a guru around here. You're not only the mayor, you're a sound guy, you're kind of a mix of all trades.
Yeah, in a town this small, you sort of have to do a lot of different hats.
Wear many hats.
Exactly.
So wearing the hat of mayor, what all kinds of things have you had to face while being mayor?
Honestly, in a town this size, there's not a lot to, I mean, you know, the normal stuff that normal cities would do, asphalt, dogs running loose, something like that. But there's not that much that goes on down here that I would consider a major crisis. So
this is a big thing that y'all are hosting down here in the little town of Viola.
It is. We've been doing this since the state started the homecoming in '86, and we've missed 2 years since then. We sort of changed it up some this year and added fireworks, so we moved the dates from August to June, and that way we can sort of maybe be one of the first fireworks shows and hopefully continue on doing this for years to come.
So what all do we have here at the festival today?
We've got craft vendors. We've got, I think they said about 30, 40 of those. We've got antique engines that were used in the past for farm operations, to grind corn, to pump water. We've got 5 or 6 local bands playing, and then we've got, like I say, of course, the fireworks tonight.
So the car show, I noticed that out there
Yes.
today. About how many cars do y'all have today?
You know, they were expecting about 30 to 40. It's a cruise in, so they just sort of come and go as they want to or can. So, but yeah, like I say, I'm very pleased with the way things have turned out so far. So.
We're here at the car show at the Viola Valley Stars and Stripes Festival, and with me is Diane Conradi. Where are you from, Diane?
Originally from Vermont. I live in Morrison now. My husband was born here and we came back.
All right. And you entered a car in the car show today. What makes this car so unusual and what makes it unique?
Well, first of all, it's a pretty little car. It's colored up like a bumblebee, and that's unusual. But then there's a couple of probably more important things. For car people, the important thing is that it's really rare. For me, the important thing is that most of the car guys and gals, the people that knew their vehicles, did not know this existed, or I wouldn't have been able to bid on and win it. It is a 1965 Dodge Dart GT. It was a 273, but the motor's been upgraded to a 340, and the important part is it's a Dart Charger.
Oh, wow.
And the car guys that are watching this are going to say, no, there's no such thing, because as I said, the reason I got it is everybody thought Chargers started in 1966. They did, as they exist now. They started on what's called a B body. This is an A body. It was the only year that Chargers were made on A bodies. It was only made in one plant in Los Angeles. There were only 180 made and only 33 in convertibles. And from what I've been able to find out, this is one of 4 known to exist.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
But even more, it's fun to drive. It's a convertible. It's fun to drive.
So do you get out with your husband and ride the roads?
We've been getting out. We aren't taking it very far yet because I've only had it a little while. And so we found a very wonderful mechanic in McMinnville, Mr. Norrod, who works on Mopars. And he's been getting things adjusted for us, both for my driving style, and if you haven't driven a car like this in 50 years, and I haven't, it takes a while to get used to them again. So.
All right, awesome. So is your husband into cars as much as you are?
My husband is the one that's into cars. When I was thinking about buying it, I knew nothing. Well, I just said I recited because I've memorized it. He knows all the Mopars especially, but he and my brother both were car guys, and neither one knew this existed till I did the research. And so he's got his 340, a 71 Duster, here with us.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much.
So that's our retirement plan.
Oh my gosh, that's an amazing attribute. Where are y'all going to take this car? Are y'all going to go on a road trip?
No, probably just around here, and if we do go further, we'll trailer them because they're as old as we are, so they need to be treated carefully.
So is this your beauty's first car show?
No, we went to the one at the local high school and the one up in McMinnville at the Civic Center. Both of them were benefit ones, and then we've been waiting to come down here for this one.
Awesome. We're so glad that you're here, and thank you for being on our show.
Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We thought we might even bring things up a notch next year, and we'll just do this on the surface of the sun because it's really, really hot out here. But we appreciate you being out here tonight. If you don't know me, my name is Chris Perry. I'm the minister for the Morrison Church of Christ, and I'm also a proud citizen of Viola. I've been coming to the On the Road Again show since I believe I was dating my wife. That's been, 2 or 3 years ago. And so I've really enjoyed it. I've had a really good time, and I know that you will too. We've got some wonderful acts in store for you tonight. And of course, we've also got some fireworks after that. We're going to celebrate our country's independence just a little bit early. But thank you for being out here. Please stay cool, stay hydrated, and join with us in the fun.
There was these 2 men sitting on the front porch at a nursing home. They were watching the cars go by. Well, one man said, well, I think I'm going to go in. I think my behind's gone to sleep. Well, the other man said, yeah, I think you need to too because I've heard it snoring. Thank y'all very much. And if you ever get the grinder switch, be sure and get out and tell anybody you see, howdy, just so glad to be here. And you won't be surprised how they answer you.
Artist coming up is certainly another one of those one-name wonders. Just his first name would let everybody know who it is that we're talking about. He has been called the King of Rock and Roll. He has the most gold and platinum albums of all time. He's the best-selling solo music artist of all time. And tonight he is performing his last top 10 hit. Ladies and gentlemen, singing Burnin' Love, Mr. Elvis Presley.
We hope you're enjoying the program, and we want to hear from you, maybe for some show ideas or for more information about what we do and how we can tell your next story. Give us a call today at 931-409-7151, or simply just email us at communitytvtn, all one word, at gmail.com, or check out our website at www.communitytvtn.com. We would love to hear from you. Send us your email, communitytvtn@gmail.com.
I hope this highway leads me back to town. I've been too long on this road. Maybe this time stay. I wonder why I ever rode. Some people that walk like me and talk like me. County fairs and a marching band. Now that I've come back home, I'll never roam again. I've found my place to stand. I'll take any road gets me back home. Just give me the word to go, and I'll live out my life there on the American floor, where in the shadow of the
There's more to our identity than our DNA. It's not just our genealogy that makes us who we are. It's not just the environment we grew up in, but it's the land we walked on as children, as parents. My daughter, when she was little, played in these leaves with my mother, her granny, holding her hand. The land makes us who we are as much as anything.
I am Jonathan Jones. This is my wife, Rosa Jones. And we want to thank you guys for coming out and being here with us on our family farm, and we have started an R&J Farms, and growing up we were involved in the nursery business and the nursery industry, and so as we've got older we wanted to kind of do our own thing, and so me and her actually went and we're doing R&J Farms, and we're real big in our kids. We're real big in our church and kids, and we think this lifestyle is great for our children, and it's hard work. It's a lot of work, but I think it's rewarding. We're able to spend time with our kids and family, and we're real big in family. And we come up with, you know, some business aspects and come up with R&J Farms, and it was actually her dealing. The R is for her, so that's first. So that's R and J. If it had been me, it'd been J and R. But she came up with R and J. But again, we're thankful. We enjoy doing what we're doing. It's about all we know to do. She takes care of the office. She does the book work, and we work together. And that's important. And she does all the invoices and all the tickets and helps in the office part. And you know, we want to teach our kids to work. We want to teach them responsibility. We want to teach them, that's what we was raised up with. And we want to teach them how to work. And so far we've been lucky, we've been fortunate, we've been able to do that.
There's big opportunities out here on the farm. You know, there's a lot of things that you get to enjoy spending time with your kids, teaching them, and they're learning different things. You know, they're just the aspects of life and just spending time, quality time together. I think that's the most important part of being a family. Not only just, you know, getting out in the outdoors, but you're also, you know, learning things.
A lot of it goes back to, I guess, the good nature, the basics of life. You know, we're involved in church in a whole lot, and we grew up, the later part of our years, you know, we was taught to do the right thing, you know, and on the other side, the business aspect is we've always been taught to work. You know, if you want something in life, you need to work. And a family business is tough. You know, there's things I want to do this, we don't, we do. But in all, we're all come together. We're all, you know, we're real close. We're a close family. Growing up, there were things that just, you know, in the nursery business that we was taught, you know, to first started out, you know, driving a tractor. Then you, I guess, graduate from that, go to a skid steer, and we were all taught those things. And so my kids, we would like for them to do the same thing, to jump in and be able to, and our goal is maybe down the road as we do some transition, and maybe later on as I get older, way older, maybe like 80 or something maybe, but that maybe they'll come in and do what we're doing. We learned from our parents, and we're kind of going on and in this industry, and so we would like for our kids to actually do the same thing, to step in and go on and take it further.
I got her when she was a little chick and raised her up until she's big now.
And you can hold her when you want to, I
Yeah.
guess. What do you enjoy about the farm?
Raising animals.
What's one of the things that you've learned on the farm?
How to treat an animal with proper care and to work. That's real proper care. She wants that. That's real proper care.
This is my wife, Teresa. My name is Billy Jones, and we started this basically around 35 years ago, somewhere thereabout. And first things first is we believe in Jesus Christ. We believe we put Him first above all things, and He helps us with our family and these things, and we appreciate the opportunity to do this. How this sort of started many years ago, there were three people beside my mother. My mother was really important. But there were three people. There was a guy from Farm Service Agency by the name of Hayden Bradley. He helped us to get this farm and do things we're doing. And then there was another guy by the name of Lynn McGregor. He was with Farm Credit Services for many, many years. Lynn McGregor, he helped us in implementing some things. And then there's a guy by the name of Ray Talbert. He's with Homeland Community Bank. And Ray Talbert was really instrumental, along with those other guys, helping us to get a farm and help us to do this thing so that we could have our family here and raise them on a farm. And in this process of the nursery business, it has evolved into different things we're doing. Basically, we're doing a thing called the Grace Place. And we how we come up with the Grace Place realistically, we have a granddaughter. Her middle name, she's our oldest granddaughter. And so we were thinking one time we would go back and put Grace. But what was real important to understand about the Grace Place was that my wife, we were talking about these things, and my wife told me, she said, told me about a scripture. And the scripture is in 2 Corinthians, and it says, my grace is sufficient for thee. So through all the processes of going through, whatever we go through, we know that the Lord's grace is sufficient for all of us in these things. So that's where the Grace Place started from. Those two things, basically, the idea came, well, let's do something. And again, we base things up on the scripture and stuff. But as a Grace Place, what we do with the Grace Place is we try to basically, people come out here, we have birthday parties and a lot of different things. So our family come out here and they do things, they're involved. You know, we have one son, Jason, he drives a hayride, they go down, feed the fish, and different things. He does that. Christy works with the kids a whole lot. She'll play games with them and stuff. Basically, they'll come out here and play on the jumpers and again, hay rides and animals and all sorts of things. And we couldn't do this without our family. We just could not do it. Everybody here has a role to play. Everybody does. Again, Christy, you know, she teaches Sunday school, and so she's a fit for these little kids. She wishes they have games, and they really like her, you know, and stuff. So, and then again, Rosa, she is an animal lover. You know, she loves animals, and she takes care of them, and she does a really, really good job with them. And our grandkids are so important to our family. All of them are. They're really important to our family, and we're very thankful, very, very thankful that they're part of our family. You know, being married 40 plus years, I'm very thankful for my wife. Very, very thankful for her. She is, I guess, that we would call the neck that turns the head. You know, and she's very important to our family, very important to this team mentality that we have, as well as our children. As we get older and different things, Jonathan is he is starting to do some things on his own a little bit. R&J Farms with their family, and Jason, he's raising, I think he's going to raise some different things, and Jason helps us too in the farms. So as our family grows, it's going to grow in many avenues and many different adventures. As we go forward and we want to bring kids here, we're trying to develop an avenue for families where people can bring their family, spend time with their family, and go back to the nature process, going back to first things first. And so when we go back and we do that, the process of the animals, as we saw earlier, we have Jimmy, Easton, and Kinsley. Jimmy and Brayler, Jimmy, he's got some rabbits, and Brother's got chickens, and Kinsley has a pony that his name is Banjo that we saw earlier. She leads it around and stuff. And Easton, he just fits in wherever. He likes them all. So those two guys, you know, so it's a family thing. It's a family deal. And first of all, we do want to thank you guys for allowing us to be a part of this process.
Thank you for coming and being part of our family. We have two kids that is missing, Easton Craven and Kinsley Jones. They could not be here. They are still part of our family, and you'll see some clips of them. Again, thanks, and God bless.
From our family to yours, we want to invite you to the Grace Place for our family experience. And I'd like to leave you two numbers. It's 931-409-4533, which is Jonathan Jones. Then I'd like to leave you Teresa Jones's number, 931-607-4629. So if you have any questions, and our website on Facebook is Jones Grace Place. So go visit us and look at what's going on. And again, we thank you for your time. Have a blessed day.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Tennessee Stories of Home. My name is Charles Priest, and we invite you to join us on our website, communitytvtn.com, or email us at communitytvtn@gmail.com. Every home has a story. What's your story?